What's up, everybody?
Hi, welcome back.
Episode 2, Season 2.
Ooh, 202. That sounds nice.
Yeah. Things have been good.
Mm-hmm.
We just had Halloween.
Oh, so good.
So we'll see when this actually comes out. Happy Christmas.
Merry New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day. Right on trend. pdExes Valentine's special.
I'll just cut whatever the day is.
Well, it's funny because you're wearing your shirt. For those of you who aren't watching, Ryan has a beautiful City of Pyramid shirt in the Barbie font.
Yep. That's my band.
I was, on the trend of Halloween, I'm super sad more people didn't dress up as Barbie.
Yeah.
It was the collective hive mind said everyone must be Barbie this year.
Yeah,
I went to all my friends and I was like, all right, you're going to be workout Barbie. You're going to be whatever.
Right.
I was going to be day to night 80s Barbie. It was incredible.
Right.
Found a pink pencil skirt, little shoulder pad moment at fucking Goodwill. Was so excited. And then I think as time went on, people were very worried that you were only going to see Barbie on Halloween. Because it was... I mean,
yeah, I guess that's true.
No, you're absolutely wrong. Everyone wanted to be Barbie because the movie came out and you had all of these outfits.
Time.
Well, yeah, and then everyone just a lot of people didn't want to have repeat costumes, so a lot of people didn't dress as that, and no one was Barbie this year. That movie was in-fucking-sane.
It was so good.
If you haven't seen Barbie movie, you need to fucking see it. Whether you're a 90-year-old man or you're a 10-year-old boy. Everyone needs to see Barbie. It was incredible.
Yeah. I was stunned. And when they were saying the Barbie movie, I was like, ugh. And you saw the pictures of them rollerblading. You're like,
because those were the first ones to go viral. Was Margot Robbie? Yep, was Margot Robbie in the classic outfit? They were in Venice Beach, and those were the first videos that went viral. And the director actually talked about it, how they did. They were going to try and go film and just have it be a cute little thing. And they said that they had it roped off because so many people found out that Barbie, they were filming in that area that everyone showed up. Damn. I mean, it was...
We didn't... And nobody knew what the movie was going to be about, too. So it was people saw those clips and they were just like, what the fuck is this? Right. And it didn't make sense because I think people just thought it was going to be just
a live action Barbie movie.
They're real. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, or we're not going to try to spoil it, but there's actually a Barbie land and they bring everything together. I mean, you've probably seen it by now, but it's such a good empowerment movie for women. It really plays on men and why men are certain ways, and then all the pressures that women have to go under.
They flipped the social construct. So Ken basically became Barbie.
Right.
In that dynamic of a regular movie that you would watch. Right. And it was very refreshing to me. I want to say the last time I felt so happy about a movie like that was Legally Blonde. Yeah. When I was 11. Not to age myself, but I was very young when Legally Blonde came out.
What about Miss Congeniality?
That was also a great one. Yeah. That's also top 2. That's also up there.
Yeah.
But the Barbie movie was so great. I wanted to see it for so long. I was really looking forward to just being able to...
Bitch, I forgot about the bitch at the theater.
I was kind of hoping we could breeze by this.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
So let me give you a little, because I know we have breached the movie subject before because somebody's really passionate about it. And since then been medicated, if you didn't catch the last episode, mental health is important. I get so much anxiety going to the movie theater with you because I'm so fucking worried that someone's going to talk and you're going to be like, I'm about to tell this motherfucker
I will
off.
Literally tell somebody to shut up. I do not care. I have gotten up from my seat and walked over and crouched down and be like, hi, can you guys shut the fuck up? Because I can hear you from where I'm sitting. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Savage.
Yeah. Or turn around and be like, I turned around one time and I was like, can you shut up? Why are you talking? It is not I am so passionate about this. Okay, if you're going to see Batman and you didn't tell your stupid fucking girlfriend what Batman is about, and you feel that you need to tell her that shit in the movie theater, fuck both of you. You know what I mean?
That's a red box moment for both of you.
You should be telling somebody what is going on. Oh, we're going to go see this person. Let me give you some backstory, right?
Context.
Don't do it in the theater. And I get some people are really passionate about it, but every movie we go to, someone is talking and we have to tell somebody to shut up.
I'm passionate about fucking not spending that much money and being inconvenienced. That's what I'm passionate about. If I spend $20 for a movie ticket, it better be fucking silent.
And like nobody wants to come tell people to shut up, and like people want to talk. And it like, here's the thing for me. I'm in the theater and I'm like, okay, I'm in the Barbie movie. I'm in Barbie land. And then someone starts talking and I'm like, now I'm back in the fucking seat and I'm like, I'm in the fucking theater. And I want to be in the movie. That's why I'm paying my $1 billion to be there. And like, I can't. People like crinkling their fucking bags and their candies. And I'm just like, okay. Before you say something, why is everything in a movie theater so fucking loud? Okay. What do they serve? Everything is in a bag, in a crinkly bag. We should be eating marshmallows out of silk bags. You know what I mean? Like
pillowcases.
Popcorn is crunchy. I like popcorn or whatever, but like it's also really loud. But like every box is a like.
Yep, it's a box contained with rattly things
like
in a plastic container.
Is loud. Like everyone should be eating gummy bears out of a bowl.
Egg salad sandwiches.
Like, it's so annoying. But like when I wait that long for a movie, and maybe this is all my anxiety, my obsessive compulsive disorders or
that
whatever.
We're learning about.
But like I'm so passionate about these movies that I want to have a good experience, and like people will literally talk and I have to tell somebody to shut up. And then when I have to tell somebody to shut up, it's not like I'm like, shut up. And then I'm like, okay, like my heart races, my blood boils. Like when I know I have to tell somebody to shut up, I'm like, all right, here we go. And then like, it's just so annoying. I'm just like, will you shut the fuck up?
Well, for debate, and I don't want all the Swifties to get fucking mad at me, I'm going to be honest. I love Taylor Swift. Recently, have not. I missed her. Okay, you guys. I'm sorry. I was born in '90. I missed the Taylor Swift plane because I was fucking with Nickelodeon and Disney Channel when they were still animated. Right? Proud Family, Hey Arnold, all that stuff. Then everything switched into real people, and that's when people met Ariana Grande. Had no idea who she was until Mac Miller. Right. A lot of people I never met until recently because it was like I was a teenager and it was just whatever. Recently, I fuck with Taylor Swift. Yeah. I love who she is as a person. I love her essence. I love that she's creating this collective, hey, come to my concert, make friendship bracelets. I was telling one of my friends at work, that's like rave culture. Yeah. It speaks to me on another level because you get to really wear whatever the fuck you want. People, I remember going to raves. And I probably told you guys this before. I have been going to raves since fucking when you had to call a hotline and sit on the hotline for 5 minutes to make sure cops weren't calling the hotline. And then someone fucking read to you like a voicemail the directions on how to get to the rave. Go down I-5 South until you get mile marker 15. Take the next exit. Go 3 miles down. Turn right at this street. If there was one time where we got fucking lost going to this rave, they said the instructions were like, hey, get to this Silver Fox fucking place in Estacada, go up, make it all the way past, and then we missed the fucking, they were like, there'll be a glow stick or like something on a tree. We missed it. We took the wrong turn. I was 15 cars. I was the first car out of 15. We were going, I'm in a Honda Accord. We're going like this in this fucking thing. And they get to the end and all these cars are honking at me and there was a fucking cliff. And so I was like, hi. Everyone has to back the fuck up. So like I have been going to rave since before you had a fucking address or it was on social media. Very long time. Very many moons ago.
I went to a party in LA and I remember that I had this Uber driver and they basically, man, I don't remember. My friend gave me the address, but the address wasn't to the place. It was an address to a guy who told you where it was.
Gosh.
But I did an Uber there.
Yep.
And then I was like, the guy was like, dude, this is so sketchy. And I was like, can you just like wait here first? I'll give you cash.
Right. Please
He's like,
don't
I'll
abandon
wait.
me.
So he waited. I went and talked to a guy and he was like, oh, the party's at this place. And then the Uber guy, it just took me, it was like 5 minutes from there.
Well, you know why they do that, right?
So cops.
Yeah, so police officers can't show up, break the party, whatever.
Yeah.
But what Taylor Swift is doing for her fans, it speaks very much to like my inner child. Like make friendship bracelets. Like there were times that I spent months on a fucking bra, panty out. It's 2 pieces of fabric. Don't know why it fucking took me so long to figure it out, but like the accessories. So like to see like kids being like, oh my God, friendship bracelets. Yeah. Like, oh my God, this is great. And like the outfits and like same thing with Beyonce, right?
Right.
But the thing with Taylor Swift is she has this fucking movie that came out.
Yeah.
I guess she told people to show up and turn up at the movie theater. So she was like, hey, if you guys come, like, you can sing, you can dance. It's my movie for the tour.
Right.
And like, you would freak the fuck out. But I mean, if you were there like with your kids or like whatever, it would be different. But people are going to the movie theater and they're mad. They're mad that kids are up, like enjoying themselves and singing along to her concert. And it's like, it's kind of a fine line, right? It's a fine line.
I think theaters should have different showings. If you want to be rowdy, that we'll have a showing for that. We'll have a sing along. And then if you don't, then don't. So like my favorite movie theater on the planet is Alamo Drafthouse. It is the best theater. If you have an Alamo Drafthouse near you, you are a god among men. It is amazing. So it's this regular style seating, but they'll come do food. But they have like a no talking, no texting, no bullshit policy. They will kick you out. So what's great is like you sit down, you got a nice chair. There's a little like desk, like a school desk part that swivels and you can write down your order. But they'll come and take your order before the movie if you're early. And then they bring you your food and shit. And then you can write down a little paper and hit a button. And then they'll come and then they'll like give you a refill or
luxury.
Whatever. And then they'll also you can't talk. Like if people talk, like they'll be like, you can't talk, get the fuck out.
I love that.
It is so great. And just like, I've never had a bad experience there. But also when you're there and they come and deliver food, it's part of the experience. So it's not like you're getting sucked out from some rude asshole.
Right. You're anticipating your cheeseburger coming or your tater tots
or somebody's getting some soda. So you're sucked out of it, but it's not bad. It's just like, it's so great. And I sent him an email. I'm like, please open one in Portland, please. Because like it would do so well. The only thing we have close is like living room theater downtown, but they don't kick people out for talking.
I live right by a cute movie theater and I don't feel bad clocking it, but Laurelhurst is such a cute little theater. The little tiny theaters where you can go in, I'm gonna be honest, any fucking theater that serves you pizza, baby, sign me up. I went with my friend, we went and it's nice because we were able to drink a little bit, walk over because it's super close. And like we got in, I got popcorn. I was like, bitch, pizza. And I was so excited. We went and saw Barbie again. It was like my second or third time seeing it. I don't give a fuck. It was great. Soak it in while you can.
But they're like $3, $4. Those are okay because you're kind of getting that experience.
Tuesdays. It was a $6 Tuesday. We went and saw Barbie movie. I didn't even know who I was taking. I was like, I'm buying 2 tickets because I'm fucking going. So if you have a little tiny movie theater, go support.
It's just the chairs in those places.
Well, because what happened was for the Barbie movie, again, the anxiety, I as the little sister with the older brother, I just want to make sure shit is right. They had to go get fucking snacks. So Ryan's coming at me with like a war plan. Like he fucking rolls the blueprint out. He's like, all right, we're going to go get beverages and go to the bathroom. You got to hold the fucking seats down. So I just was like, oh my God. And so then we're upstairs.
We're on the balcony.
On this balcony. Baghdad on Hawthorne. Lovely theater. If you come, it's super great. We love a McMenamins moment. But it's upstairs. And it's, it's fucking curved, right? It's a curved fucking theater. So I sit on the other side and Ryan's husband was like, hey, these are okay. And I'm like, okay. And as soon as that motherfucker popped away, like 5 kids sat behind us and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I have to get up now and move. I either get up now and move or these kids are going to ruin this movie. Not really, but like a little chatty chat, crinkly candy. Don't want to deal with it. So I'm looking parallel, exactly where I'm sitting at the other side, and I go to leave, and then people kind of walk by, and I'm like, fuck, because I can't forego my seats and then fuck everything up because I have to get seats far away. So then I kind of look at this girl, and I was like, hey, I might be right back. And I get up, and I walk over, and we get 3 seats on the other side. It was perfect. There were 2 adults behind me, and I was like, okay, strategic. I'm like, there's not a bunch of coats on these seats, so there's probably not 15 kids in the bathroom. I was like, perfect. And we sit there and like everyone comes back and I'm like, okay, are these seats okay? Great. And then we end up moving over one because there was kind of like it'd be like if you guys watch this with us like here.
There's a bar so you don't walk down the stairs and walk off the balcony and fall down. So there's a little handrail bar there. But Greg was sitting, so we're like, if you broke it into 3 sections, you have your middle, and then you have a left and a right section. So we're right on the edge in between like the middle and the right section looking down.
We're only 1 chair over.
So we move over 1 chair, And so Greg has one empty seat to his left.
But was fully obstructed. We made that tangible choice.
Couldn't really see, so we all scooched over one.
But then we had a family that came and sat next to us. So there was probably like two seats in between us. And then parent, and then a couple children.
Right.
Which were like, you know what? Fair game. Fine.
Yeah. So this lady comes down, and we've been sitting there probably for like 15 minutes.
No. Y'all got snacks. It had been like 40 minutes.
Yeah, we were there.
We got there early as soon as they could let us in.
I know movie theaters, and I have to be early. I cannot show up late. Greg is like, "There's a movie starting down the street in 5 minutes. Let's go." And I'm like, I hate it. I need to be early.
Our mom used to say the same thing with fitness classes. Our mom would show up super early, get a spot exactly where she wanted, right in front. So she had a little space between her and the mirror.
Right.
And people would come 5 minutes before class would start and try to sit in front of her. And she'd be like, absolutely not.
Right.
I came here an hour early so I could have the spot. You need to go someplace else.
Yep.
And people would get mad. And she was like, sorry, I don't want to say the first come, first serve.
Yep.
And mom probably wasn't. No, she probably was pretty blunt, like how I'm being.
Yeah, gosh.
But the same thing with the movie theater.
Yeah,
we were there for so long.
It's not a reserved seat place. And so those you want to get a good seat, especially we're doing on the balcony. And so.
Well, I would also say for this being pdExes too, if you're gonna take a date to a movie theater, control as much as possible.
Yeah.
Control. If you're going to go to a cute little theater, like you got to feel the vibe of the girl or whoever you're going with, whoever the person is you're trying to impress. If you're trying to impress someone like me, slightly introvert, you're not going to take me to a big movie theater, too many variables.
Yeah.
You want to have a cute little snack and go over to Laurelhurst where there's assigned seats we already picked. So if we happen to show up late, seats are already there.
Right.
Control your distractions. Minimalistic.
Yeah.
Because you would have taken me to a movie theater with pizza. I would have been like, baby, we about to sit up. We about to miss this motherfucking movie. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, in this theater, you have to get your food and order it. And like, it's a process.
That's why we had the blueprint. I got the seats. They ordered the stuff. They're like, do you want snacks? I'm like, at this point, just go. Doesn't matter.
So we're sitting in these seats. We've been in there for a hell of a long time. So this lady comes down and she's like, oh, do you guys mind moving over so we could sit on the other side of you? And I do not like to move for anybody. I do not give a fuck. I do not. My butt heat is warming this chair. I am not going to sit in my sister's butt heat. I have been here and we got here early, right? And so we were like, oh, so we all paused for a second because I think everybody knew like I knew what I was going to say.
From your pause. Absolutely not. I basically was like, well, it's only going to be awkward for so long. I think they say awkwardness only lasts like between 6 and 8 seconds before someone finally talks.
And I basically was like, no, we've been here for a while.
She came back with some snide comment.
Oh, well, can't you scooch over one this way? And we're like, well, we can't because the bar is in the way. And she's like, oh, and you guys don't want to scoot over that way? And I go, we've been here for like 45 minutes. We got here early. And then you could just tell that she was just like, ugh. And she's like, well, good for you.
Yes, she literally said, good for you.
Good for you getting here early. And then she fucking
literally
left and walked.
Verbatim said, good for you guys for getting here early with a little fucking salty tone.
Yeah.
And she turns around to walk away. And there's a fucking, the parents behind us, the adults behind us were like, I just wanted to let you know that was incredible. And we are so happy you didn't move. Basically, AKA, fuck that woman for thinking she can show up and get you guys to move over.
No. And so here's the thing. You're asking for all of us, 3 people, to move over so you and your friend can sit next to each other. Now, you could have sat there and your friend could have sat over there. Perfectly fine. You could have sat in different spots. No, you're trying to uproot 3 of us so you guys can sit together. And I'm not having it. I was like, no, bitch, no. I got here early. When you came in, did you see me? Because that means I was here before.
Right. Well, in a now I will say Ryan's very gung-ho. If someone came in and we were in like a handicap accessible spot and we needed to forfeit, sure. Yeah. We're talking about the motherfuckers who knew they should have been there early, didn't want to come early.
Prime seats. We're on the balcony, front row balcony. Prime. That's like you go to a fucking Taylor Swift concert, you're in the front. Right. You've been there all day, you're fucking pissing in a diaper, and someone's like, excuse me, do you mind if I get up there? No, bitch, you should have got here early.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, this isn't a movie theater. You could pick seats at,
But the lady behind us was just like, I'm so happy. And we talked to her for a while because she thought it was so nice. The only time I will scooch is if the movie theater is full and they're trying to make space for people. And they're like, we need everybody to kind of eliminate those buffer seats you have between. That's the only time where I'm like, all right, we'll scooch over. But I hate it. One time we went to a movie theater and this family of like 6 people sat next to us. And they're like, do you guys mind moving over one so we can have one of our friends or so one of us could sit here? And we were like, sure. And the lady looked crazy. I mean, like, it didn't look like she was going to be a problem, but she looked younger. So we scooch over, they all sit down. And then this bitch got on her fucking phone and started talking. And I was like,
absolutely not.
What in the fuck?
And in that instance,
like,
I knew.
So I was like, I cannot believe that you asked us to move right now. You're going to be in your fucking phone while the movie's starting, right? Blood boiling. And I wanted to blow up on this chili, but she was obviously having a good time. She was with all her friends.
Right.
Like, I didn't want to. You don't want to shit on their moment,
but don't be that person.
Don't be a bitch. So we ended up almost leaving, and then we saw that there were more seats below, and we just went and sat there, and it was fine. But like, if you're in a movie theater, these are my lists of things. When you're in a movie, don't fucking talk. You can whisper. If you have a question, you can whisper.
Hey, I'm going to the bathroom. Be right back.
Yeah. But like, you don't need to fucking talk. Nobody wants to hear your fucking drama. Nobody wants to hear about you this and that and the other thing. No talking. Don't talk. We were watching a movie one time that people were like talking out loud and it's like, shut the fuck up. Did Christopher Nolan tell you to say things at this time? Did he plan his movie around when have you talk? No, then shut up.
One of my homegirls I work with said, you got to read the room.
Yeah.
Read the room. If you're there for opening night of Star Wars and you got your fucking woohoos and there's like some fucking battle scenes and people are like, yeah, read the room, girl. Yeah. If everyone's fucking woo, then you can be a woo, right? Yep. But like, no one wants to hear like a yes, girl. Like my friend went to the movie. She went to Barbie by herself and there were these fucking kids that just were hooting and hollering and taking away from the experience. And that's what she said. She goes, read the room. If you want to be like, yes, girl, Barbie, work. Right. Like, read the room. Because if other people are doing that, sure. But you're the only teenagers in there ruining the experience. It was so bad. Multiple occasions on social media. I heard people saying, hey, I'm going to have to go back and watch this movie again. Because it was, I was so worried about the guy sitting next to me who was chewing food and was in my seat, was distracting. It's like really challenging.
So we were talking about kind of like having to make room for a lot of people to get in theater. And that reminds me of the time we went to see The Flash. So Warner Brothers sent me, they sent me an email and they're like, hey, free screening of The Flash. Obviously the Flash guy was problematic and super crazy and that wasn't great. But like, I've only done a couple screenings, like the Christian Bale Batman movie. We did a early screening of that one. And so I like signed in, got the tickets and then we go and like in my head, I was like, all right, we should go and be there like an hour early. But I was like, it's a Flash. So it's not a big deal. Like maybe half hour, 45 minutes. And then Greg was like, well, you could get there like 15 minutes early. And I'm like, that's not really how these things work.
Right.
Like, it's really
there's
weird.
a cadence. You got to wait.
So we go to her house. We pick her up. We get over there. And I think we were like 40 minutes early.
We were probably right on the cusp of about a half an hour.
Half hour,
like right
minutes.
On the cusp of a half an hour to where we were parking. And as we were fucking parking, it was like
swarms.
It was like fucking Walking Dead. There were just all these people walking through this parking lot. And I was like, that's crazy.
Right. And we should have had her pop out and just go hold her place in line. Correct. But we didn't think it was a big deal. So we get in line and then we're just waiting and waiting and waiting.
But we got in a line that was already a fucking line.
Yeah.
Like we basically are walking our asses to the back of this fucking long line. And the whole time I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because I was running late. Like, we're not going to get to see this movie. Right. And then you just have like, again, crippling anxiety you don't really deal with anymore. Right. Who would have thought?
So they're letting people in and we're getting pretty close to the front, but everyone's like confused because there's still a ton of people. There's a ton of people waiting.
Line was moving.
Right.
And then it fucking stopped.
Yeah.
The line was moving and then stopped and that was it.
And there was like 20 people in front of us maybe. And the managers and people kept coming out and talking to people and going in and they'd get a group of people in. Well, what had happened is that they had basically run out of spots. So they were trying to squish everybody together and find seats.
Because they had this free showing. They knew probably wasn't going to be packed.
They overbooked it.
Correct.
And there must have been like 80 people behind us.
More than that.
It was
more than
insane.
Because you know me, I'm that bitch. We were almost to the front where you can see basically in the glass, in the glass doors. And like, oh my God, I had such a boner for people walking in the movie theater and to fucking give them their little printout. Yeah. And then the guy would go, and then they would turn and look at us, and it was a line. Not only are you seeing us, and we're like, hey, we're in the line waiting to go in next.
Crazy.
Line around the block. And so a lot of people didn't even fucking come out and walk past us. A lot of people just left because like, it would be so embarrassing. Mm-hmm.
So then, there's a big family in front of us, and then the guy basically comes up, and we're next, and he's like, I got 3 seats, but they're not together.
No, he went to the family in front of us and said, hey, are you guys okay coming in? We might not be able to get you all the sit together. Right, and I look at Ryan and I go, oh my God, we're right. There's no seats. Yeah. So then at that point, I'm like heartbroken. Not for me, because I could give a fuck about a movie. It's Ryan, and I knew he wanted to go, and it was free, and he'd been asking about it, and I was like, fuck. Yeah. Crippling anxiety. Just like, oh my God. Like, there's a 500-pound weighted blanket on me, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is fucking horrible. And then the guy comes out, and he's like, I got 3 spots, maybe. And we were like, okay.
Together. So he just took us in, and then me and Alexa sat together, and my brother sat like in front of us. And then I went and got popcorn and everything. And I thought the movie was really cool, really good. Obviously, there's all this other drama with the actor and everything, but it ended up being really good. The people in front of us were like overly enthusiastic. Like every time something happened, they'd be like, oh yeah.
But it's a free movie.
And then in that moment, I'm like, okay, it's free. Like, it's fucking free. I paid no money. I bought popcorn and soda, but like, it's free. So, and then when you're going to like a midnight showing of a movie or a screening of a movie, there's a different energy there where people are really excited. So you can't really shit on people who are going to a midnight showing of a movie.
Like, we waited in line for Star Wars.
Crazy.
Wouldn't we do?
Oh yeah, episode 2.
They wouldn't even do midnight showings. They would let you in early. You'd go see a show at like 11.
I went, when we saw that second one, I think I went and started waiting at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, when we lived in Oklahoma. Yeah. I remember there were times that Mom and Dad would drop me off at the movie theater, and I'd walk in and go wait with you and Kevin because I was too young to do the whole thing, but I could pop in for the movie theater.
Star Wars we did. I think I went at like 8 and I sat for like 5 hours.
And there were stanchions. There were stanchions all along the movie theater. And it's like in that moment, it's like people have waited. Like, this is your fucking moment. But also, you don't have all of the accessibility that you do on social media. Like, you fucking saw them. You saw the movie times in the newspaper. Right. You'd go get the newspaper and you're like, all right.
Well, you got tickets before
midnight
for that
showing.
one.
Well, yeah, but you're like, oh my gosh, midnight showing, gotta go, gotta show up.
And this is when they would do midnight first, but now they do like 8 o'clock the day before, and you can save seats. But that was before you could save seats. So like,
you literally had to have them in line with you. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was tragic, but really fun. I mean, you don't really get to do that anymore, like the big midnight showing.
Or I'd say like when people wait, like I wouldn't even say like for sneaker launch, that's not even a thing anymore because you put your hat in a raffle and they're like, hey, you got the shoes. There's not too many things you wait for.
Even like new phones, even new anything, like you just don't.
You can online order. There's so many avenues you can do versus being like the mom that has to be the first one outside of Toys R Us to get the Tucomi
a lot of it is like resellers, so shoes. They have these raffles, so you can't get you and your ton of friends that go and buy up everything. So there's all these systems in place. Even with like movie tickets, like they'll go and buy up all these tickets and then try to resell them, and it's like now people can't go. So I get why they have things.
So checks and balances, but still.
But even like with the Taylor Swift thing, their website was crashing just for the movie tickets. Jeez. Which is crazy. Greg's aunt went up to Seattle just to hang out in the parking lot for the Seattle show. Yeah, and everyone's out there singing. They could hear everything. Right. But I thought
for the concert.
For the concert.
Bitch, I thought you said for the fucking movie. I was like, damn, she drove all the way up to Seattle.
For the concert.
And I was like, and she could hear the movie in the parking lot. I was like, damn, bitch,
Could you imagine?
The acoustics must have been crazy. But that's cute though. Like it's just one of those things where it's that tangible dopamine. You're like, oh my God, I get to go be in this collective. I mean, the first concert I went to with He Who Shall Not Be Named Anymore, we went to Jack Harlow and it was fucking so much fun. And I was like, oh, collective hive mind. I'm like, everyone's here for this music. I'm like, oh, I love it. This is great. Same with Machine Gun Kelly.
Right.
Went and saw Machine Gun Kelly, sat in a fucking theater full of people, even though he's playing his pop music now. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Everyone likes you. And this really cute girl next to me was like, oh my God, do you think he's going to bring out Lil Wayne? And I cackled in her face. I said, girl, he ain't coming out.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm just going to hope that he will because he's on 2 features with him. And I was like, I hope he comes out too, girl. And I was like,
we're a
luck.
little ways away from those states that he lives in. Yeah, we went to Austin City Limits. That was really fun. We got to see Alanis Morissette, Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters were great. Alanis was great. Death Grips. We saw Odessa. Odessa was great.
Odessa would be fun.
I have bad anxiety for like going to movies because I want to be on time. But like, it's funny because Greg will be like, let's go see a movie. It starts in 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh God, no. And so we'll wait and then we'll go early to a movie. And then he'll literally show me how long we've waited for all the previews. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It'll be like 40 minutes.
Movie.
Like,
yeah.
So sometimes we'll go, even though the movie started, we'll get our popcorn and go and sit down and it'll be on time.
When you go to a free movie, no commercials.
Yeah, true.
Because we went to Flash and you were like, I'm going to go get snacks.
Shit.
And I was like, okay, great. I'm going to hold your spot. And then it started and I was like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah,
we're going.
You know, the one thing, okay, this is my message to movie theaters that I have to tell everybody. If I'm going to a midnight showing of a movie, don't show me previews for that movie.
Why would you do that?
I think they just have a thing that they show. But like, 20 minutes before the movie, they'll be like, oh, Ghostbusters, we're going to meet the cast. And they have everyone talking. But I'm like, I'm here to see fucking Ghostbusters at midnight. Like, stop showing me.
You're ruining the Disney magic.
Like, I don't want to see that. I'm here for that. And every time you go early, they always show you those previews of that movie or trailer. And it's like, I don't, like, please, can you cut that out? Yeah, movie theaters, I don't know. I think like Apple's headset's going to come out. The augmented reality, I feel like movie theaters might go away. You know what I mean? Like I like movie theaters, but I hate the shared experience.
There was a time if you would have told me Blockbuster was going out of business, we would have been like, gas.
Yeah. But people talk. It's expensive. You can't bring your own food. People are rude. People. And there's no projectionist anymore. Everything's done digitally. Or there's like a flash. Someone told me one time that there's like a fucking flash drive. Yeah, it's
like,
there's no like piracy and stuff. Yeah.
Like there's no fucking movie. It's like a beep beep. It's like technology's so great.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know, like when you're on like a train or a bus, there's like etiquette when you're around other people. Right. We're in a shared space.
Movie theater's like the Wild West.
People just like don't give a fuck. And I don't want to get into a verbal fight with somebody because you're talking out. Like Greg had to tell this lady to shut up one time. She was literally talking through the whole shit. It was insane. I don't know how, and she was above us too. She was like back like 3 rows. I don't know how anybody by her didn't tell her to shut up. But like Greg was like, can you please stop talking so loud? And then she shut up. And then at the end of the movie, she came down and she was all like, I want to see who told me to shut up. And Greg was like, it was me. Like, what? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, why are you talking? So yeah, I don't know. I hope that like places like Alamo Drafthouse that enact these like no talking rules, like every movie theater should be like, no talking.
I mean, it's the same thing.
We will kick you out.
Comedy shows will kick your ass out.
Well, I noticed there's a lot on social media. There's a lot of hecklers now.
Don't fucking heckle. It's not funny. Don't heckle anybody. You know why? Yeah. When you see this shit on social media, it is because those comedians have asked for audience participation.
Right.
They've asked. They've been like, hey guys, I'm going to open this up. I like to do the whole room gig. Like my podcast talks about it where Karen is like, I don't do room gigs where you like holler across to someone.
Right.
They're asking that. So don't go to a comedy show and think that a motherfucker wants to hear about what you have to say. There have been so many good roasts. Oh my God. If you guys, I want to pause the fucking podcast so I can go find the girl's name so I can fucking shout her out. There's one comedian. She's really great. She's got super short curly hair and this fucking guy is heckling her and she just fucking puts her laser gun on him and she's like, oh, we gonna talk to you now. And he's like heckling her, telling her she's not funny. This dude gets up and fucking leaves. And she's like, oh, you're just gonna leave now because you don't like what I'm saying? Get this. It fucking cuts to the next fucking dude's set. And she comes out and she goes, oh, you think I wasn't going to come back? And she fucking reams him. Oh my God.
It's so
I would kiss her on the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
I would kiss her on the mouth because it is just like
so
incredible. She goes, oh, you think just because it's another set, you're safe? And like people in the comments were pressed because they're like, well, she just took over his set. And the guy whose set it was commented and he was like, we laughed about this in the back and I told her she needed to come out and fucking ream this guy because he got up. I mean, but I had that happen before. I saw, God bless, I saw Craig Ferguson. I was so excited to see him.
Right.
So excited to see him. And he was so fucking drunk for that second showing.
Oh, yeah.
So drunk. If you really give a shit about like comedians and things like that, if alcohol's involved, just go early.
Yeah.
Just go early. I've had fitness instructors be like, no, you want to take the second class. If I'm doing a 9 and 10, you want to take the second one because we've already warmed up. If there's alcohol involved, don't do it. Go to the fucking first one.
Yeah.
We waited in line. We got to see Craig Ferguson and he was so fucking plastered and was so inappropriate. I'm pretty sure I told this story on the podcast before. A woman gets up to go to the bathroom and he's heckling her boyfriend the whole time about how she's sucking dick in the bathroom. And then she comes back and sits down and he's like, well, and he couldn't talk about her anymore, but it was super awkward. And I'm there with my fucking dad. And it was so bad that the Comedy House had to issue an apology to everyone.
Didn't you get a refund?
No, they gave us tickets to go see like whoever, but we paid so much to see him because he's such a big name. Pineapple Express, Hot Tub Time Machine. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
And they're just people too. So people like fuck up, but like, I don't know. It sucks when you're waiting to see somebody and they're like too drunk. But the heckling is weird because like some people are really good with that. They are like asking for that. Correct. And that's kind of their brand. But then other people, it's like, I'm up here to tell jokes. I just find the whole thing with comedy is just weird. Like I would love to do stand up. But then like I got to stand up here and I got to tell you jokes. And then somehow like you guys get to decide if I'm funny. And if you don't like it, then you just get to boo me or heckle me.
I mean, one of the best, I saw Dave Chappelle. He was great. We've talked about this before where he got heckled really bad and he's like, fuck you guys. I already got paid. And he left. He was in an Ivy League college. They were heckling him to do Chappelle. He's like, I don't do Chappelle show. It's been 12 years.
Right.
And they fucking booed him. And he goes, joke's on you guys. I'm going to take all your money and spend it on the dumbest thing I can because your check's already cleared. Have a great night.
Right.
They didn't get refunds or anything. That motherfucker. So his ongoing joke with Chappelle, the ongoing joke was at his shows, he would tell that story and he'd go, I left and immediately place an order for $100,000 of bubble gum. Oh, yeah. And so then his joke was he'd go, you want to stick a gum to someone in the audience? And we all knew what the fuck he was talking about because it was like such a traumatic experience.
Didn't he say he was going to buy a whole bunch of gum and give it to homeless people or something like that?
Nah, he said he wanted to spend the money on something so frivolous because that's how much his money mattered.
I think he said he wanted to give it to gum to homeless people because it's like literally...
Yes.
Because it's literally not helping at all. I mean, it's good for their breath.
Because it's satiating, but they're not, yes, they're chewing, but they're not getting satiated. Another layer to the joke.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I want people to shut the fuck up. Like,
I mean, that's
when
how
we're out in public... Nobody, like, if you want to be funny, get on stage.
But it's also the same thing with the dinner. Oh, no, that's what I was going to say before I said that. The best stand-up comedy I've ever heard was whoever the fuck opened for Adam Devine. Yeah. His best friend roasted him the entire time. Again, we waited so long to get there. Right. It was general admission. We got seats right up front, just to the left. And I had such a big crush on Adam Devine. I was like, oh my God, he's so fucking funny. I can't wait to see him. And there was one opener who was funny, and then his friend came out to open and flamed him for just being such a goober and like being a nerd or whatever. He's like, yeah, I go to parties. And these girls are like, oh my God, I love Adam. And he's over like, in the kitchen. And like, I was there with my boyfriend at the time and we were fucking howling. It was so funny. And then Adam Devine came out and it was like slightly less funny because his friend just fucking roasted him for literally exactly his whole brand on stage. It was incredible. It was so good.
We saw Seinfeld.
Oh my God.
And like
was so good.
That was got to be one of my highlights for comedy.
Yep, because we were at the Arlene Schnitzer, and he was like, "We got to go to the Schnitz. Yeah. We got to go to the Schnitz."
His whole opening was so genius because he basically like you make your plans, you go to the show, you get your dinner, but his whole thing was like, "You made it to the show, you did it, you're here."
It was really cute.
You got your tickets, you had to call your friend, you had to go get dinner, and he basically like
read everything we just did.
Everybody had done. And it was so funny.
You gotta go to the Schneid.
You got the tickets? Double check the tickets. Oh, we gotta get dinner. Let's meet here.
It was so good.
It was great. And his whole comedy thing was so funny.
And that was one, I don't think anyone heckled.
Oh, no.
You're fucking quiet. Plus, who wants to get roasted by fucking Seinfeld? I mean, I'm sure we all do, but like,
people
not for being
always have
embarrassing.
The dumbest fucking questions too. I swear to God. Anytime it's like a convention thing or a comedy thing, they'll just be like, "Do you remember the best food you had on the episode filming?"
Here is my pro tip. If you are going to anything where you could maybe possibly meet someone or be recognized or like ask a question, bring a pen and bring a fucking Sharpie.
Right.
You need 2.
Yeah.
Don't just bring 1. You need 2.
Right.
Because I went to Bianca Del Rio spoiler alert. If you haven't fucking seen season 6, go fuck yourself.
Right.
After Bianca Del Rio won, I was so excited, bought VIP tickets, was doing the meet and greet, waited in line to get in another line, to wait in another line to see Bianca Del Rio.
Dang.
And when we were waiting in line, they were like, "Hey, you guys are VIP. You're going to fill out questions or you're going to ask questions." Do you think that they're going to fucking pick a little tiny scritchy scratch to read on stage? No. I got out my Sharpie, which was darker than all the other pens, which I knew was going to set me out because you could see it so well.
Right.
And I wrote my question super big and visible. My question was the first fucking one they read.
That's cool.
They turned the house lights on and it was just Bianca Del Rio and us. And I'm not going to lie. If you were at that and you remember what the answer to my question was, I would love to know what it was because she made me stand up, blacked out. Don't remember what happened. Nope, no idea. Because my question I asked was like, what's the turnaround time when you're doing these challenges?
Right.
Like when you're doing a ball challenge and they're like saying they're giving you a day, what's the time frame?
Right.
When you get a ball challenge, you're making 3 outfits. Do they just give you 24 hours?
I think it is.
Free to,
I think
yeah, but in the newer seasons, yes. Season 6, I don't think so.
I think that they were.
Oh my gosh. If there are any people who have competed.
My friend worked on the show. One of my friends works on the show.
If there are drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race,
anybody
want to
enlighten us on like the time frames of Drag Race?
Because that's all I want to know. I want to know you're making them do 3 outfits. They have to make 3 outfits from scratch.
Well, that's what's so fucked about it is they're like, it's literally a race. Like people say, like it's crazy how much you have to do.
Right. Drag Race is quite literally a race.
Also stay late too. So people like, I think they'll literally be like, you can stay as late as you want.
Recently though. I think they recently changed it where they can rehearse. Because if you're in a group
I think that they also have a second rehearsal where they can go and practice.
Right, when no cameras around.
We just don't see that.
Correct.
They have their they're like, okay, go eat your fucking Chipotle, and they go eat their food and they come back. But yeah, it's all very interesting. Mm-hmm. My friends have a podcast, the Sloppy Podcast, Sloppy Pod. They always have drag queens on there, which I find really fun.
So great. Any
of those shows, they're making a show.
Right.
They don't give a fuck about these people. They do, but like they're making a show.
Editing.
Right. One of my friends tried out for American Idol, I think, and they were like, "You're too good." And they're like, "Come back next year." He's like, "But I'll age out. This is the last year." They're like, "Well, you're too good." Like he was too good for the show. But how did that make sense? But they don't want a drag queen who's super polished, who's got all their shit together, who's already a star. They want to see you building your way up and getting better over time. That's what we as the viewer want.
They need to make
there's a journey.
Drama.
Do you think anyone on American Idol, they're like, "Hi, tell us about your family." They're all dead. "Oh, really? Well, do you have anybody we could film?" "No, I don't." "Okay, bye." You know what I mean? Like if you're on The Bachelor and they're like, "Tell us who's the mom and dad we can go visit?" "Oh, they're dead." "Oh, do you have any answer?" "No, I live by myself." "Goodbye, bitch."
Sorry.
Because they need that. They need like, "Oh, tell us why this song is important. Your daughter's singing. Oh, when I came to America, she sang this for me every night." You know what I mean? And it's like, we're like, "Oh,
right.
Oh, so good. Vote, 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 vote." Like they want that drama.
I stopped watching American Idol when they started making you fall in love with people that they just made fun of.
That's the thing that I hate about that show, because we're all victim to that, of laughing when they had the bad auditions. We were, But what was fucked up about it is, apparently, I don't know if this is completely true, but like from what my friend told me, you wait in line, right? You go in and then you meet with like the producers and all these people. Simon and all the other people, right? Whoever's in the judges panel. That's an option to just literally skip the line and go right to them. Then there's also other stages. So you might interview with producers and they go, bleh, bye. Or they might go, cool, you're on to the next round. Yikes. So then you would go to like a next round. But all these like really shitty people, they'll just be like, oh my God, you're going to go right to the judges. So they don't even filter them out. They basically like, you go. So then they think, insane. Oh my God, I'm going to sing for Simon. And they go,
right. They're going to interview my family.
And then we're like, you dumb bitch. You don't know how to sing. But they literally positioning and then in a thing where they're like, wow, this is great. You're going to do so well.
That's horrible.
And then we all laugh at these people and we loved it.
Right.
We all collectively love. That's the only reason I watch that show. I would watch it just to like laugh at those people and then be like, haha, okay, I don't need to watch the rest of the season.
So sad.
Yeah. And now I think everyone's kind of coming around and going like we shouldn't be in that culture where we're like making fun of people.
Right. Well, we were just talking about that the other day. The biggest shift, again, if you haven't watched Drag Race, the biggest shift was when they crowned Jinx Monsoon.
Yeah.
That's the biggest shift because you had three girls who basically were collectively being
bullies.
Yeah.
Well, Alaska wasn't really being a bully.
No, but it was the collective. It doesn't matter. It's just like Gretchen Wieners is just as guilty as Regina George. Sorry, you're endorsing her.
But Detox and Roxy were, I think a little bit more Roxy was just playing the game. Drag Race is weird because there is a game element like Survivor, right? And there is a kind of a mental game that you need to play to be able to win. But if you verbalize that and you show too much of that, the fans and people go like, oh, no, we don't like that. You're being too mean. So there's a balance and people just don't understand that because drag culture is very catty. It can be very cutthroat. It can be very like, there's all these elements because it's fucking bars where people are getting drunk and you're performing.
Right.
So there's that element and like, it can be really hard sometimes for people to juggle. They lash out. Somebody's doing better than them. They're getting shitty critiques.
Right.
They want to make this
or
other
you
person
play the
fumble.
mental game where you're like, I'm gonna sweat this person out before they have to go do something important and make them anxious.
Sometimes it works, but like what you were saying.
Well, it was just the collective shift. You can't. Now we know you can't reward the bully because the girls we thought were gonna win the season didn't win, and that was a collective shift where Rupaul or whoever the Drag Race gods were like, nope, we're picking Jinx Monsoon because they're weird and creative and totally different, totally breaks the mold.
Yep.
And then as the seasons went on, you were like, that next season, Bianca Del Rio came on and was like, I'm going to be a comedian.
Right. And
we're
she was
literally
so nice.
The season before someone goes, the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race won't be a comedian.
Right,
and then the next season, Bianca Del Rio wins because she's nice and lovely. And she's like, what does she say to RuPaul? She goes, she's so nice. And RuPaul was like, how are you so great? And she's like, oh, because, I've been doing this for so long, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, but you're so nice to everyone else. And she's like, there's cameras in there? And she's like pretending because she's playing the joke. And she's like, no, I'm helpful. I'll help them pack their bags when they're going to leave. So it was this very fine line between being really confident, but also still being a good human being. Because as we're finding out with social media and things, you have to be able, like, if you're not a good person, people won't endorse you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that this is, unfortunately, I wouldn't say necessarily, but it's part of the cancel culture.
Yeah.
If you're a shitty person or you're mean or like we find out you're throwing coffee at your assistant, you're done.
And I think that's the weird thing with like when you heard about Ellen and James Corden, you're portraying yourself as a really nice person, right? And then when people find out that you're an asshole, then people are like, wait, that's not what I signed up for.
Right.
And I think with James Corden, they were like, can you name some people? I don't know. I didn't read into this, but like they were like, hey, can you name some of your staff? And he like couldn't even name people that he worked with.
Right.
And people were like, and then he had the whole thing where he got mad because they like fucked up his wife's food or whatever. And then people are like, wait, like it's okay to be mean every so often, but like we didn't sign up for this. Like we're all collectively investing into you and you're a dick. Same with Ellen. She was apparently mean to all these people and had this crazy fucking attitude all the time. And everyone was like,
right. To be fair, that's kind of like the artist I dated where to everyone else, you seem lovely. Like the day that I got handed cash and he was like, go buy pizza. I need you to go buy pizza for the people who are doing our landscaping.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And as I'm driving to get this fucking pizza, I'm like, wait, what? You want me to spend $50 on pizza for people so they think you're nice?
Right.
Because you ain't that fucking nice? Like you're
right.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good gesture, but then like if you're a douchebag
all the time, it's fucking so irritating.
Yeah.
It's like false advertisement,
Well, it's like our dad used to go to work and he would be really nice to everybody. I mean, I assume everyone liked him at work and we were like, your dad is so cool. And then he'd come home and be like, bah!
But we're also figuring out that's masking.
Yep.
He probably had a lot of mental health things. I mean, we just talked about it yesterday was, man, if you could go back 50 years and just medicate all of our fucking parents.
like the whole
not our
planet.
Parents, your
the
parents too.
Planet.
Every parent just needs to be vetted because it's the pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You don't need anything. So it's like, if our mom got medicated and our dad was medicated, I was like, oh my God. Like, our childhood would have been.
But there's so many more advancements too with medication
of course.
And things. But like, I hope that as we go further down the line that like more people will be okay with all this stigma.
Being able to talk about everything.
And I wish we weren't so much like bullies. Like I feel like social media, especially like Twitter, like people are just so.
You mean X?
Oh, X.
The only social media I really do, I need to dabble in TikTok. I won't lie because we do a lot of like podcasty things.
But TikTok will a little suck you in.
Yeah.
You're just all of a sudden you're just like, wait,
so
what
here's
the
the
fuck
thing.
have I gotta go to bed.
I'll give you guys a little insight into, and we again probably talked about this because it's been a full calendar year. The auditory stimulation. So your brain craves the dopamine from the scrolling. It is the same thing as video poker.
Yeah.
So when you are gambling and you're playing video poker, it's when you put the money in, it gives you a certain trigger in your brain where you're like, oh, okay. Then you play the game. And I didn't really realize this because I worked at a busy breakfast house. We would do $10,000 in video poker in a breakfast shift. I'm not exaggerating. I worked at an Elmer's.
That's crazy.
The most insane. To the point where they valued their lottery so much, we would give free food to people playing lotto because we wanted their money in the machine. It was insane. But I remember one time I was waiting on this guy and he was so mad. And I like paid him out like, I think the most you can pay someone out is like $1,200.
Right.
Because $1,500 you have to go to Salem.
Right.
So I'm paying out this guy money and I'm like, hey, congratulations. And he's like, yeah, I'm still $3,000 in the hole. I was like, bitch, $3,000. What the fuck? And he's like hitting the button and he's like, it's just the auditory. He's like, it's just the sounds, stupid fucking sounds. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Because it gives you a different bonus round sound when you're in it and it tickles this part of your brain where you're like, oh shit, I have to get there again.
We would play the Wizard of Oz game. If you get a chance to play the Wizard of Oz
don't
slot
because
machine,
it'll take
it's
your money.
so good. But it would do that thing where it would trigger a bonus round and it would play these sounds and you're just like,
It's the same thing with Candy Crush. I've told Ryan, I have an iPad. I love playing on it. And I'm like, fuck, I need something else to do. And so I've been playing Candy Crush. And there are some times where I'm just like, ooh, bitch, you almost got me. Like, you almost got me there. I'm like, oh shit, I've been on this for fucking 3 hours. Just beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. Yes. But I want people to be less mean. I feel like as a society, we're really mean.
I love Instagram when I don't read the comments. Instagram is so much fun when I don't read the comments.
Comments are like...
Yeah, it's great because you watch a video of someone doing something cute and then you open the comments and it's like, poisoning and you shouldn't. And I'm just like, I don't have the capacity for that. I don't ever read the comments.
I don't read the comments much.
Sometimes I check the comments just for the gossip because I'm like, ooh, people are going to be pressed in these comments.
Right. But it just, I don't know. I feel like it's just people spend too much time on like being so negative. When in reality, we love that little Cinderella story. We love that streamer who didn't have any followers. And all of a sudden, now he's got, 20,000 followers.
Or a little podcast of a brother and sister in
now
Portland.
Has 1 million listeners. But you know what I mean? Like Post Malone was like nothing. And then all of a sudden woke up one day and was like famous.
Yep. He talked about that. He posted his song on a SoundCloud, woke up the next morning and he had like famous people reaching out to him who were like, who are you? What the fuck? Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, we all love that Cinderella story. We all love when people do really, really well, but then people are just so negative all the time.
Well, a thought that came up to me a while ago, because you're on social media and then you get in the comments and people are like, did your child consent to you filming them? And then it's like, but at the same time, you're like, huh. There's one couple I watch, again, I wish I had their names written down. There's a really cute couple, and he, like, the husband, he has really cute glasses and really quirky style. Right. And his thing, I don't know if it's through the pandemic, but like he goes and he greets her at the car, opens her door. He's like, yeah, you're home, grabs her bags, grabs her water. And he's like, all right, come inside. Right. And it's such a cute, genuine dynamic, because there's one time, you know, because she's got the camera. She's like, all right. And there's one time he opens the door and she goes, wait, what? And she puts her phone down and her phone like drops and the camera view obviously drops. And he's like, yeah, I had a hard day, whatever. And it's kind of them. And she like sets the phone down. And then she picks the phone up at the end, and everyone in the comments was just like, thank you. Thank you for recognizing that your partner was upset and you didn't put a camera in his face. Thank you for like letting there be an authentic moment. Like, we really appreciate that, because that's, I think, what we're all searching for on social media is like, you know, there's so much adversity happening right now. Right. But when it comes to social media, for some people, it's a little bit of a break. You just want to be able to have something light and fun to do.
Right. Yeah, I like social media, but I also hate it. I mean, I always feel like I'm bragging if I post pictures when I'm traveling. But then people will be like, I really love when you post because I love seeing what you're doing. I think, you know, but then also like if we have podcasts, we got to post. Or if I have my City Pyramid stuff, shirts, you have to post all the time. You have to be a brand. But when you post all the time, you're no longer a person, you're a product.
Right.
When you
loses that specialness.
I think people treat you differently when you get to that level, because you're now providing content every day, and now you've turned yourself into a product. But I don't know. It's like, I think people are getting a little bit better with social media. I don't think it's as like this.
I think it's few and far between.
Craze. Like, I feel like 5 years ago it was like, oh, I got to be an influencer, and I feel like people like still want to be that, but then also people see the realities of it.
I'm going to tell y'all right fucking now, one of my favorite accounts is this weightlifting coach.
Oh, yeah.
And he heals my inner child. He heals my inner child because he has coined the term shitfluencers.
Oh my God.
It is the most incredible, insightful profile for myself. Right. I was a competitive athlete. I did CrossFit. I did competitive Olympic lifting, Pilates. Yeah, like I've done so much shit. And since I was a kid, and the Barbie movie helped me kind of realize that a lot, because Barbie movies like, you're allowed to look how you want to look. And then she gets the flat feet. And it's like all these things. And I just like wanted to cry in that movie, because I just was like, I was a kid and I grew up not looking like that Barbie and not looking like the guys on TV and not looking like any of these fucking supermodels. And now, I mean, every swipe you have is a different person. Right. So this fucking guy, oh my God, I love him. I'd kiss him on the mouth if he didn't have a girlfriend. Oh my God. So basically what he does is he takes influencers who are paid, sponsored, have, you know, their fucking discount codes in their bio, and they're like, athlete, nutritionist, sponsored. And he takes their very edited shit and he basically just goes, hey, you see this right here? That's edited. Right. You see this here? Oh, look at this video. Do you see how this wall goes? When she fucking does a squat, it's because she has waist filters on. Right. And so many girls use waist filters. Like, if you see girls whose waist looks really skinny, if it's suspect, it probably is. Right. I'm going to be really honest. Yeah. Because there's videos and what's great to me is he doesn't just do girls. Yeah. The first video I ever saw him was like 2 guys, and I swiped again and it was another one of his videos. I was like, ooh, baby, you got a fucking follower for life.
Well, because what he's doing is he'll show you pictures of like a girl or a guy selling pants that they sell.
Or selling their workout booty routine, blaster workout routine.
And he'll show you, he'll like somehow catch their unedited photos and their edited photos. And he'll be like,
or also, look at the difference. Not to like help you guys cheat the system, but he's so fucking smart. And he's not an FBI agent. Right. He's a I want to say now like bodybuilding, weightlifting coach, because he endorses people and you see him on stage and you're like, wow, good for you. Right. So much hard work. The problem is not people who edit their photos. If I edit my photos and I want my ass to look bigger, which I don't, if I wanted to do all the things, I could. Why? Because I'm not selling anything. I'm not saying like, ooh, if you buy these leggings, your ass is going to look fat like mine. if I had work done or I'm blowing my stuff out. So the best ones are the befores and the afters, where a girl will be like, this is me before my workout. This is me after. And he goes back and he goes, okay, if this is the day you posted this after photo, or this is the day you posted your before photo, then that means the other photos, you should look like this and not juiced out. And they all look the same. So there's no start and there's nothing. It's just such bullshit.
It's great. I love it so much.
But then the other ones that are really bad is fitness coaches that are editing their fucking clients' photos. So think about that. Think about trying to be like, ooh, I'm going to go to this girl. She's an Instagram nutritionist. All of her clients look so good. And this motherfucking girl, she's lucky I don't clock her on our fucking very famous podcast. She fucking edits her photos, her clients' photos. And this guy went to the client's page, which is all public. Again, he's not an FBI agent. He's basically just clocking these coaches. And then it's the responses. I want to say I've seen like 200 videos he's posted of shit influencers, the shitfluencer. And people go back and forth with him. There's one girl, she's the original shitfluencer from so fucking long ago. And she posted on her story the edited photo, and then the next one, she uploaded the wrong photo. So you can click back and forth and see her waist cinched in a waist cinching bodysuit that she's advertising. You fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I love it. I just love it because it's just pointing out that if you're advocating for self-love and fitness and staying in your own lane, and he'll like read you their Instagram comment, like, to be successful, you got to stay in your own lane and keep your head down and grind. And then he shows her arm where her fucking holes, the locker's crooked. And you're like, so what I am doing at the gym is right for me. And I don't need to spend money.
Well, everybody in like fashion, I mean, everything is photo retouched.
Always.
I used to do that.
Wedding photography.
Photography. I did it for dress company. Like everything is retouched. No, but like, don't hold these magazine people and these stars as a threshold that you need to hit.
Well, it's not even that.
Because like people look at like a magazine and go, I wish I had skin like Jennifer Aniston, and like that shit ain't her skin. Like the problem though, the way I defend it though is like when it's a picture, it's easy to spot all the defects.
Correct.
So when it's on the front of a magazine, I see why people like want to get their skin fixed because it is a still photo. When it's a video and I'm moving around, you can't tell all the imperfections. But when it's a still photo, it's hard. And these companies want to make money. They don't give a fuck.
Of course.
But so they want everything to look good.
But you don't get to sit on your social media and edit out your fucking booty blaster.
And just say,
hey, if you do this, it's $50 a person. I'm going to get you this routine. It's going to give you results like me.
It's false advertisement.
It's false advertisement. And girls get in the comments and people are like, you only talk about girls. And it's like, no, 90% of the videos he make are men. And it's incredible. He actually also gets people who send him stuff. And he's like, hey, I'm debunking this. This guy, this is real. Yeah. And they're not his friends or anything. So he endorses people. He doesn't endorse people. And there have been, I want to say like only like 2 or 3 instances where people have been like, yep, you caught me. I'll be better. There was one guy who posted, it was after a bodybuilding show. He was all yoked and you could tell that his arm was blown out. And he wrote back and he's like, hey, do you edit your photos? Because he always gives people an out first. He always will reach out to someone and it's just like, hey, something. I heard you edit your photos. Like, is that accurate? And people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like blasted and all their stuff screenshot. It's incredible.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, some people are really good about hiding it, but like it's kind of easy to.
But if you have imperfections, like you want to get your nose done and you retouch your nose, I ain't got no qualms with that. No, if you have things about yourself that you want to, if you have stretch marks on your legs and you want to post a cute booty shot picture on your Instagram, you want to fix that,
touch it up,
please. The problem is the false advertisement and wanting to capitalize on people who are insecure, vulnerable. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Don't be a douchebag and try to sell people.
But I also love, oh my God. I also love, there's another guy who's friends with the first guy and he posts workout videos, but he does the fucking stitch. I love it so much. Joey Swole, I love you. It's so fucking funny because he basically takes these videos of girls who are girls and guys, mainly girls, I'm not going to lie, who are doing things at the gym in like a weird spot, right? So girls are filming. It all has to do with filming. Filming. So it'd be like if someone was back by the drum set and they just went like this and turned and looked over at me and then look away. I don't know why that fucking guy's staring at me. And there's like a comment. Yeah. There's like text on the screen. And then he fucking stitches these videos. And he goes, you're standing by the weight rack.
Yeah.
Why are people walking behind you? Because you're doing some ridiculous Pilates workout in front of the weight rack.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to the gym a lot since the pandemic, but like I always see these videos where people are filming at the gym and somebody walks in front and they're like, oh, and it's like, you're in a shared space, just like the fucking movie theater, you stupid bitch.
Yep, correct.
Like you need to respect this. And also like you really shouldn't be filming other people.
Correct.
You don't have their permission. I saw one that this lady was like, hey, I'm about to film.
She's beautiful. I was just going to bring her up.
And people are like, oh, I can move. And she's like, it's okay. And that's really sweet. But also like, you shouldn't be filming in a public space. That'd be like me going like, hey, I'm going to go shower and set up my camera in the shower. You know what I mean? Like people are working out at the gym. People might not be comfortable. People might not want their face being filmed.
Well, back in the day, like I would say like for myself, like you're allowed to record yourself for like progress videos, but like there was a guy who posted a video I want to say it was a gym in California, and it just was all ring lights and cameras and tripods. God. And he just was like, he goes, I have to leave this gym because it's all basically influencers, you know, but again, that's a niche. So you have a lot of people all going at the same time, doing the same thing, totally fine. But girl, you have fucking crunch. You're a crunch trying to film. I'm sorry. I know I only paid $10 for a membership, but like, what the fuck? And also, I do want to say the day of filming people to be funny is over. Yeah. If someone's got a plumber's butt crack and the booty crack hanging out, you look like an asshole for posting them because they didn't ask to be posted.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, like I feel like we're just so into making fun of people. And you know, it's like I'm guilty of it, you know, when you're like, but like it's different when it's you.
Right.
You know, like there's people whose like lives are just like, they're just ruined because of one dumb thing they did. Or there was like the guy that was at the, he was like dancing and the lady posted a picture. It was like, look at this guy, old guy dancing, this fat guy dancing at the thing. And everyone like rallied around the dude online and like they all showed up to something or whatever. And like, it was like really sweet, but like, we just need to be nicer if we can, you know?
Well, I think just with social media, it's hard because everything is posted. And like you talk about posting too much. I have to, like, my anxiety, depression, the last year of my life, like I'm posting to show people I'm alive still, to be fair. Like the job I worked for before, luxury fashion, my life was fashion. My life was having the best outfit at work. My life was dressing up, wearing the new product. And now it's like, I just get to exist.
Yeah.
And I don't have to post to feel valid. But then it's this fine line of like, you know, having people reach out to me and they're like, hey, are you doing okay? Like I had someone reach out to me about the podcast. Not even a friend, like someone I follow from an old workout studio and they also went there. So it's like the person doesn't even live here anymore and wrote me and was like, hey, like, you guys still doing the podcast? And I was just like, no, I'm fucking broken heart. But I just was like, no. And he was like, I really miss it. Like it was really great. I really looked forward to listening to it every week. And I was like, shit. Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
You're listening now, buddy.
You're back in, baby.
Yeah. You made it on the podcast. Thank you for your support. But yeah, I don't know. I always try to catch myself when, you know, when you have an opportunity to be mean, be nice.
Well, back in the day, we had America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
Where you'd mail in the fucking physical VHS tape to America's Funniest Home Videos. They would vet it. As time went on, they're like, hey, email us your video as things changed.
Right.
I heard that the people who had to vet those videos, a lot of them either quit or were in therapy for child abuse.
Oh, yeah.
Because the shit that they're watching, I couldn't even imagine. Yeah. Because we're seeing the funny stuff where like the kid gets the football kick and he slips out like the Charlie Brown. And like imagine like parents keeping their kids like locked up or something that they think is funny.
Yeah, they're like, welcome home. And they hit him in the stomach with a bat.
Like that's kind of what it is. Like I feel like every single time I watch something on Instagram, I'm always thinking in the back of my head, like, are you making money for this? Are you advertising for this? Like kids who do stuff with their children.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple that I love, Lil Van, going outside every day, playing outside. She's like fucking 6 or 7 years old. And something happened during the pandemic where she started doing a video and her dad recorded her and she's been like wanting to rap since she was like even smaller. And like she exploded. This girl is fucking so famous now. And I love it because she's still a kid.
Right.
She's still a kid. I think they've done a paid advertisement or two for like a fucking toy that she would play with. And I don't feel like I don't feel like she's like being marketed. I don't feel like she's basically being sold because she's famous. And a lot of how that is on social media is more than likely it's staged.
Right.
You know? And that's what makes me feel weird. Like when you do something and the camera's already there and then something happens and then you kind of remember, fuck, someone had to put that camera here to set this up.
It's like the vet that's like hiding in a box and you can see him on the other side. And it's like, and then he's like, oh my God, what is this? It's like, what the fuck? Who's filming this video?
Right.
Yeah. And it's weird because like, everyone wants to be famous. Everyone wants their 15 minutes. Everyone wants to like have that thing that blow up. And so
but that's the choice. Do you want to be famous or do you want your 15 minutes? Because it's not the same thing.
Yeah, but I think everybody dreams of like filming some funny video and then you wake up and you have all these
We were just talking about this the other day. There's the fucking kid who didn't use soap when he was in the shower. And the girlfriend, I'm sorry. I have such a fucking problem with this from start to finish. You're sucking his dick, girl, and you got to mark the fucking soap. Okay, for those of you who didn't watch, classic white man, younger. This girlfriend fucking goes in the video and she moves the soap and she marks it with a dry erase and then she puts the soap back over it. Then she goes over to the bar soap and she moves it and she marks it underneath. Everything in the shower. The brush, the fucking soap, the conditioner, everything. He gets out of the shower and he's like, and he's like, clothes on. He's like, all right. And she goes, you showered? And he's like, yeah. She goes, oh, did you use soap? And he went, yeah. And then she roasts him and turns and moves everything and nothing had been moved. Yeah. Nothing. Now that kid is famous and still posts videos. And every time I watch it, I'm just like, this is so gross. You're the guy who doesn't wash his balls with soap. And you had a girlfriend who was presumably doing things with you and like, you didn't use soap. So like my problem is with the girlfriend who posted that in the first place.
I mean,
it's funny. Don't get me wrong.
It's funny, but it's also like,
that's a burn on yourself.
Okay. If you're a man, get soap and you put that soap, you can either put the soap in the pits or you can go like this, or you can get a washcloth. And then you basically want to put that soap all over your whole body.
As my bestie said it at work, you got to wash your pits and slits, baby. Yeah. So gross.
Like there's videos where people don't wash their butts. Like guys don't wash their butts. Bitch. Get in them cheeks.
Soap. No. It's using soap. People think if you just do your little booty cheek,
you know what's funny though is I when I was going to the gym a lot, I was always fascinated with watching people wash their butts because everybody does it slightly differently. And it's not like it's like a sexual thing, but like everybody has their own way. Like some people will go like this or they like spread it and stuff. And it's like, I just was always fascinated.
For those of you just listening to the podcast and not watching, you're welcome.
Yeah, everybody washes so differently. And you know, like sometimes it would be like a hot person, but like most of the time at the gym, it's not hot people. But I just was always fascinated with watching people wash themselves and washing their buttholes.
Voyeurism.
Because it's like, I don't know. It's just everybody's have a whole thing.
I mean, for those of you who aren't weird, that would be like me watching a girl wash her hair when I was in swim team. And I watched this girl wash her hair one time and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like she like smushed everything around and I just was like, well, she still got hair. So it must be working for her somehow.
Yeah. It's also like guys peeing. Everybody pees differently.
Yikes.
And they like, everyone shakes their wieners differently. It's very weird. I
can't even imagine that.
It's very odd. It's very odd. Yeah, it's just, I just find it fascinating because everybody has their own thing. Masturbating, the way people masturbate and stuff, and like the way people need to like come and stuff is like always really fascinating because everybody has their own little journey that they've figured out with what works, you know, where people are like, you got to clamp on my nips, you know, or you got to chew on my nipples, or you got to do this, or... So it's very interesting. I mean, it's not bad, but like everybody has figured out a thing.
Everybody is different.
Yeah. I'm just fascinated with how people like wash their buttholes. Like when you go to like a Korean bathhouse or they like Asian people, we're quarter Japanese, but like they crouch down, like knees up, And they're just sitting there washing themselves like as compact, like a Civic. You know what I mean? They're like crouched in, and I'm like, I have arthritis on my knee. I'm like, I watch them and I'm like, ouch, how can you be like, but that's the culture. Like that's what they would do. And they have these little stools. So they go to the bathhouse and but my friend in Chicago, we always go to ones in New York. Cause like you walk in and you have like, it's a co-ed, it's not co-ed. It's a men's and women's, and then they have a co-ed shared space, but the men and women's are all naked. You can't have clothes, and there's hot tubs, and you like have steam rooms and everything.
Crazy. Full
and
naked.
like sometimes like the one in New York we used to go to, there would be like some sexual things that would happen there, but then they got wise, and then they stopped all that, and then it wasn't fun. but we would just go to like relax and hang out. We went to one when I was in Chicago, and it's really cute. And then when you go to co-ed spaces, they give you these little outfits. It kind of looks like nurse scrubs, doctor scrubs, but they're shorts. And then there's all these different steam rooms, and so it's really relaxing and fun. We always like spend a whole day doing it, but yeah, it's very interesting when you go and like they love the towels, and they'll hit the towels like.
Apparently, I need to go in more spaces with naked people.
Well, I've only been around all like the men and stuff, but yeah, it's interesting. But in those cultures, like in Japanese culture, like people get off work and then they go to a bathhouse, and then they all kind of hang out. And I don't know what it all goes on there, but you just go and relax, and then
right.
But whenever I go to the gym, there's always hella people in the hot tub and the sauna talking and shit with all their fabulous ideas, and they're all friends, and they just have that little social experience, and that's it. So. So yeah, that's what I'm into. Watching people shower, because I find it fascinating.
I have no rebuttal.
But then I go to some of the gyms now have the doors, or they have and I'm like, that's so boring.
Yeah, for people like you, they have doors because of people like you.
But I do enjoy sometimes the privateness, but like sometimes I'm like, oh.
That's so funny because as a girl, it's ingrained with you. It's ingrained from like so young, like don't show nobody your titties. So you'd be in a room like. Towel behind you facing a locker trying to change. Right.
Guys don't give a fuck, man. Like you literally, there used to be somebody sitting there, their legs open, balls and dick hanging out and talking. But then like guys just want to be gross and naked, and they'll hang out. Like all these Republicans probably go to some, a golf club, and they all sit around with their dicks and balls. You know what I mean? All exposed.
In a
then they'll be
sauna.
like, those gays, fuck those gays. But then they're all sitting around naked and shit. You know what I mean?
Thing.
Like
Same
it's just
atmosphere.
so weird. Being naked is fun.
Try it.
Being
Not in
naked in public spaces.
Where it's allowed
is also fun. But yeah, next time you're at the gym, just have a little.
I do not endorse this. I don't fucking endorse any of this. I don't endorse any of this. Don't.
I know. It's not in a gross way though, but I just always found it kind of
fun,
fascinating. Yeah, I'm kind of a weirdo, but I don't know. I'm just curious of how because either you figured that out yourself, or like their dads showed them that, or like, you know what I mean? That's like learned, but everybody's bodies are different. So it's just always fascinating to see
whatever's comfortable.
It's like
for
watching
you.
people use chopsticks. Like there's a way to do it, but then there's also like people that do hella crazy
the paper things.
Yeah.
You can just do a little pinchy pinch.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I always find it interesting just how people do things, but we were talking about showers. So that's that.
Well, we've learned a lot this week.
We learned a lot. Yeah. We learned that I'm a fucking weirdo. But I'm also lovable and fun. What else did we talk about today? We talked about movie theaters and how much I hate people so much. Don't show up and ask some family to move over, you dumb bitch. Because I'm not going to do it.
Because if you show up late to a movie, don't.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I get it. Like, if you're on a flight, I don't even like to move on flights. But sometimes people are like, hey, do you mind switching? Like, we got whatever. You have to accept if that person's like, no, I'm sorry, we're here.
Right. No is always an acceptable answer.
But Greg always says you can always ask. Like, sometimes we'll get like an aisle and a window, and I'll sit in the middle. And so we'll ask the person like, hey, instead of you sitting in the middle, do you want at the aisle? And people are like, oh, fuck yeah. But we can always ask. But like, I love to go to movies early. I love to get my seats and my popcorn. I like to sit and mingle for a little bit. I like to have that time. It's really fun.
Feel prepared.
But then sometimes people walk in late, talking. I need to make a movie about how people get murdered in theaters for talking. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, here's the thing. Wouldn't it be great if you all could vote, like, and the chair would just leave the theater, it would just go to the floor. I would love for it to go into like,
oh my God, it would be like Weakest Link.
Like a fire. They go into a fire at the bottom, but you just go boop, and then your just chair leaves. Like everyone just could vote you out because you're talking. Yeah.
The democracy.
But there should be a movie about people talking in a theater and then they get murdered because they were talking in a theater and be like, why did you get murdered? And be like, the movie theater talking killer. Got him.
That should be the little spoof, the little movie before. You know how Pixar always did like the guy painting
Don't
whatever.
talk or you'll die, bitch.
Enjoy your movie.
Enjoy your movie. Enjoy the Cinderella 4. Yeah. And we talked a little bit about mental health and
social media. Don't believe everything you see. Social media is what you make of it.
You had mentioned that. You said, like, I see all these happy people online. I'm like,
Yeah, happy relationships. Like, are they really happy?
Greg and I love each other so much, and we post some stuff, but we also don't post a lot of shit. And yeah, maybe we could post more, but like, I feel like, what did my friends say? It's a proverb, but it's like the empty can makes the most rattle. You know, like people that post a lot and are always posting and like, me and my honey boo.
Right.
Those people aren't necessarily happy. Right.
Or they have the burnout and they're like, oh, what videos are we going to film today? Bah, you know?
Yeah. So, and it's that illusion though. Like we're all into that, you know, marketing where they're now trying to be a product and they're trying to market themselves as being happy and they want you to buy into that. So just know that just because people post shit online doesn't necessarily make it true. And you shouldn't compare your journey with other people's because everyone's different.
Absolutely.
And, you know, there's times where I'm like hella fucking sad and I'll post some shit and everyone's like, wow, you look great. And I'm like, well, I feel like I'm dying on the inside.
That validation. Yeah. I mean, that's like me. I have this Instagram that I used to post all these outfits to. And it's nice because it's nice because I'm able to look back on that time. Like I look back on photos from now over a year ago when I was at my other job and like, man, I had a lot of posts, but I was so fucking unhappy. Yeah. It's crazy. It's super crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to keep a journal a little bit about how I'm feeling or when I'm feeling bad. Journaling is really important. I know some people love it. I'm really bad at it, but I do like kind of keeping track of when I'm not feeling great and maybe like what the reason was. Cause you know, getting sleep, eating right, taking care of yourself, exercise, all those things kind of factor in. And so sometimes you can find different patterns. Sometimes when I get really bad anxiety or like restless leg, and sometimes it's due to my arthritis. My arthritis gets hella crazy and I get really inflamed knees. And then I notice like, I'm starting to get like, you know, depressed or whatever. So sometimes you can find patterns. Sometimes there's no reason. You just wake up sad. It's okay. Listen to our podcast.
We are there for you.
Well, that's all we have for you today.
We'll see you in not another year.
Yep. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, do you have to clap?
Oh, yes. Ooh.
That was a good one.